Welcome guys to my FPL Game Week 14 team selection. In this week's video, we're going to look at how my team fared in Game Week 13 as we look forward to our first midweek deadline going into Game Week 14. Don't forget to set your team ahead of the deadline tomorrow, guys. This video is proudly brought to you by myself, FPL.CARNAGE, in association with GW14. So let's look at how my team fared in Game Week 13. In goal, I had Sanchez. He returned a clean sheet against Aston Villa and three save points to see me get 7 points from him in that game. Robinson with 2 points in their game against Tottenham Hotspur. I was expecting an attacking return from him in that game, but still looking for positives from him. He has, a few decent run of games coming up apart from the Arsenal game that he has over the weekend. Saliba, 1 point from him. He hasn't really, had that attacking output that he had for Arsenal last season. Just 1 point from him in the 5-2 game against West Ham on Saturday. 0 points from him. At this point, I really don't expect much from him, to be very honest. 0 points from him. Veltman, which was my second transfer, for -4. Unfortunately, was not fit enough to start. I think he got a knock or something in training. So 0 points from him as well. In my starting 11, Saka, hat trick of assists and a goal with 3 bonus points to see Arsenal through to a 5-2 win against West Ham. He has been in prolific form for Arsenal so far, so good this season. It's been really great having him in my FPL team. Kudos to you guys that, left the armband on him going into that game week. Rogers, 2 points from him in the game against Chelsea. Didn't really look his best in that game, to be very honest. And he has been getting, subbed off early in previous games. I'm actually beginning to worry that he may lose his starting place in the Villa side. Salah, expected it from him, best FPL player currently. A goal and an assist from him. He was my captain going into game week 13, 26 points from him. Cole Palmer, finally, he has returned after his back-to-back blanks. 3 game weeks without a return. Finally, 14 points from him, a goal and an assist against Aston Villa yesterday. You know, kudos to guys that also, put the armband on him. Really, really great shout for captaincy going into game week 13. Erling Haaland, my first attacker, 2 points from him. He has not, since the Brighton game where he scored, he has just been on terrible form. But hopefully City can turn the tide around and he can go back to, prolific goal scoring from João Pedro. 2 points from him as well. Got subbed off around 68 minutes in the game against Southampton, early kickoff. So 74 points, -4, so 70 points all out in game week 13. Minor red arrow, but a lot of positives to take going into game week 14. I do like the structure of my team moving forward. Just, few changes here and there, and I do believe that I will have a perfect squad moving forward. So let's just go right to what my team looks like shaping for game week 14. In goal, I'm going to have Robert Sanchez. He's going away to Southampton, one of, the relegation teams currently. I am a bit wary about whether he's going to start the game. Jorgensen may come in to get some minutes in that game just so Sanchez can get, a rest. But I don't think we've seen any hints from Maresca that Sanchez may be benched anytime soon. I think he will want to keep his rhythm going for his goalkeeper. So I back Sanchez to probably get the nod going into the Southampton game. Robinson hosting Brighton, at Craven Cottage. I think he's due an attacking return. I don't see them keeping a clean sheet against Brighton, despite the terrible game they had against Southampton last weekend. Saliba hosting Manchester United. Manchester United have looked a better side since they sacked Eric Ten Hag. I do believe this is a game that Arsenal are going to concede. I am just hoping for possibly an attacking return from set pieces for Saliba in this game. Faiz hosting West Ham. This game could literally go either ways. I do really see them conceding. West Ham, they would try to pull up a comeback against Arsenal. It just wasn't happening for them. But prior to that, they have won their last 2 games. This is going to be a game they'll be looking to win. So I do see Leicester possibly conceding 1, 2, or even 3 goals in that game. Saka, my first midfielder, has a really good record against Manchester United as well. He is not one I would, call as a captaincy favorite this week, but he will be in my starting lineup. Rogers at home to Brentford. This is a game he could possibly get back to, attacking returns. Something could come from this game for him. He could possibly on penalty, as we saw Tillemans miss the last penalty that he played for Aston Villa. So I think Rogers is still a hold if you have him in your team. Cole Palmer away to Southampton. He's going to be my vice captain going into game week 14. I do think he is a risk as well for rotation. Maresca could decide to start Jao Felix or Nkunku ahead of him in that game just to rest them because they have like a tougher game over the weekend. Two Tottenham Hotspurs. He may get the rest against Southampton this midweek fixture, but he's going to be in my team. He's going to be my vice captain. Actually, it's the reason why I'm not, so fixated on leaving my captaincy on him because he may start and get subbed off early, or he may come off for like maybe a few minutes of the game, depending on what the score lines are looking like. So it's just a risk for me, if, like putting the captaincy armband on him. My fourth midfielder is going to be Salah going away to Newcastle, another team that he has a really great record against. Although they're going to St James Park, Newcastle haven't looked the solid defensive side that they were last season. I do see Salah getting a goal involvement against them in that fixture. Semenyo back from suspension, hosting Tottenham, in the Vitality Stadium. He has been one of Bournemouth's best players this season. Tottenham have a very, very leaky defense. We're yet to see if Van de Ven or Romero are going to feature in that game. I do believe he is due an attacking return as well. It would possibly come from these games. He has scored against, most of the big six teams he has faced so far this season. I do back him to get something out of this game against Tottenham. Up top, I'm keeping the faith with Erling Haaland as my captain going into this game week. He is hosting Nottingham Forest, which he has really great record against. He scored a hat trick against them. He scored a brace against them. Man City, looks a little bit like their old selves against Liverpool over the weekend, despite the fact that they lost. The team have had, some of their major players come back from injury, so it may be an interesting game and an interesting, match for Erling Haaland. I do back him to get, few attacking returns in this game. And lastly, my second attacker is going to be João Pedro going away to Fulham. It's going to be a tricky game, but he is going to be in my starting lineup. He's nailed on penalty duties as well. He should get at least 75 minutes in that game against Fulham. So this is what my squad looks like. My captaincy, like I said, is going to be on Erling Haaland. My vice captain on Cole Palmer, although I may switch it up to Mohamed Salah before the deadline. But this is what my team looks like. I don't see myself bringing in, making any transfers. I do believe I'm going to just roll my transfers to game week 15. I don't see any need for any major change in my squad going into this game week. Um, so yeah, I'm just going to wait for team leagues, but this is what my squad is definitely going to be going into game week 14. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll do well to get back to them as soon as I can. If you're new around here, please leave a like, subscribe, share to friends, and I'll see you guys in the next FPL video. Once again, this video is brought to you by myself, FPL Carnage, in association with GW14.